Hello and salutations, it's me, Salty. Welcome back to Two Cents Toys, and today I'm going over the Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Indorex, or, Super Colossal Indominus Rex is what I'm going to call it. I, like most people, know the Indominus Rex from Jurassic World. I guess this is a tie-in with Camp Cretaceous, which according to here is a show on Netflix. I don't know if it's out yet. Regardless, I haven't seen it. I picked this up at Target. It was $54, I want to say, before tax, somewhere around there. I got it because I got the Super Colossal T-rex, and I absolutely loved that toy. And, I'm a sucker for big dinosaurs that can swallow figures. That dates back all the way to Christmas of '97 when I got the Bull T-rex from Jurassic Park: The Lost World. That was one of my favorite toys as a kid. Looking at the box, I've already pointed out the logo. You can clearly see the figure. There's a picture of what I believe to be the prototype figure, which there are some noticeable differences between this and the actual figure. I'll go over that later. Some cartoony kids here in the corner with a cartoony Carnosaurus. I think that's what that is. Dominus Rex. And it actually gives me the length here from snout to tail, which is 37 inches, so at least I don't have to measure that. Thank God. I'm not sure how I'm going to review this in my little review space here, because it's an even smaller space than it was when I did the Super Colossal T-rex, but I'll find a way. The top of the box here just has Indorex, kind of the same stuff we see on the front. Bottom of the box has all the legalese and different recyclings and all that kind of stuff. I like how it says contents. 1 dinosaur assembly required. That just made me laugh. On the inside. On this side of the box, you see kind of a computer rendering of the Indorex and, same Jurassic World logo. On the other side of the box, you can see same logo, kind of cartoony characters, another 3D rendering of a dinosaur. On the back of the box, we get a more product-accurate photo of the Indorex. I guess that has to tell you how to use it. I don't know. Little mini dinos that you can buy and all that. And another picture of, again, I believe this is the prototype Rex right here on this side. All that out of the way, I'm going to free her from her little packaging here. I'll probably assemble her in parts just so I can fit her in this review space. And we'll go over articulation and all that kind of stuff. Alright, so here she is without being assembled, just pulled straight out of the packaging. And the reason why I do that is I feel like it's going to be easier to go over points of articulation like individually, as unorthodox as that sounds, just due to the space limitations I have. On these instructions it says one-time assembly, which I learned doing the Super Colossal T-rex, that kind of once these are on, they're not meant to come off, and I almost broke the leg. Or the tail, one of those two. It was over a year ago, but I almost broke one of those two trying to get it back off. We'll go over points and then slowly kind of assemble her as we go. So she has updated articulation as compared to the T-rex, in that her head can move side to side, which the T-rex has the cut, and maybe mine's weird or something, but I can never get his head to turn, or her head to turn, I guess. That's a nice updated feature. Her mouth can open this far, like it's pretty substantial. You can move each one independently if you want to. That hurt. Her shoulders move, so you do hear a click. Don't be surprised by that when it happens. And her wrists rotate, which is nice, because I thought they were going to be stuck like that, because that's how they were in the box. These are made of a soft rubber, so mine are kind of warped just from sitting in the box or the way it was pushed in there. Same with the spines on the back of her neck. They are soft material. They're not hard at all. The rest of these are kind of hard, including the teeth. They are rubbery, but as you saw earlier, I pinched my thumb trying to close the mouth, and it actually kind of hurt a little bit. On her underside, I can't get this to pop off or open. I'm not sure what it was. Based on just, historically speaking with toys, I believe this was probably a compartment for a battery originally, where the screw would have been right here, but it's... I can't find an access point for it. This is the flap on her belly where you pull the figures out. Now, the first couple times I tried to pull this open, I couldn't get a grip on it. It just would not come out. So I had to take my handcuff key again and kind of force it open, because the latch right here is spring operated. But now I can get it with my finger just fine. After opening it and closing it a couple times, I can pop it out with my finger now. Just something to think about if you decide to get her, your kids or you, because Lord knows I'm going to play with it. Just work with it a couple times and it'll loosen up. Here we have the tail, which has a back and forth kind of pivot point here that you're going to plug into her body. And the tail also rotates, though you can only go so far before it stops, kind of in either direction. It gives you kind of a stopping point. The sculpt is different on the bottom, so you know which way it's supposed to face. On the leg here, we get the copyright information right here. You can see here where it's kind of going to plug in and get caught on these, so they're really not meant to come off, I don't think, at least in my experience. But that's kind of the leg overall. We have a foot pivot down here at the bottom, which is nice. Not a whole lot of painted detail on these, which is kind of upsetting with all these scales and all that. Like, I could probably do a wash on this and get some kind of blacks and grays in between all these scales and kind of paint these, like maybe dry brush them white, bring out some detail or, some other color. There's a lot of potential. You've got a little dew claw here that you could paint black. Maybe make these a darker gray on the top. And the other leg, no markings on this one. That's what they look like underneath. So at least they have kind of a texture under here. Again, a little bit unorthodox. But I have one leg on, and you can see, like, that's as far back as it'll go. There's actually a stopping point, and that'll prevent you from going any further. And when you bring it forward, kind of go slow, and you hear that click, that's as far forward as it's going to go. Like, they're stopping points, which is nice, I think. And again, a little unorthodox, but the tail, goes back and forth with, kind of sculpted stopping points. No up and down, unfortunately, but left and right. Here she is standing. Eventually, I'm going to do a side-by-side with her and the Super Colossal T-rex. Don't worry about that. And we already know that she's 37 inches from snout to the end of her tail. And don't be fooled by the camera angle here. She stops at just over 12 at her hindquarters, and she stops at just a hair under 14 with her. I think these are supposed to be carnosaur horns. So again, don't be confused by the camera angle. It's kind of angled up a little bit, but she stops at just under 14. Quickly, before I do the side-by-side with the Super Colossal T-rex and I start shoving figures down her gullet, some of the differences between the kind of test shot or prototype on the box and the actual figure. The scales on her back in the picture are considerably darker. Her eye looks more red. Here it's a bit orange, as you can see. And whatever these are called on dinosaurs, I don't know the nomenclature, are almost black instead of a gray. All of her little spindrels and the like are a dark gray to a black. That could also just be the studio lighting or, Lord only knows. And the pink inside her mouth seems to be much darker. The teeth also appear to be longer and come to a finer point in the photo. Just mostly paint application differences. Otherwise, I think the sculpt is mostly the same. Here is kind of the best I could do, getting them side by side. You can see the T-Rex is just a little bit longer than she is. If you have one, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into a little bit. Just for your own edification, you can see a size comparison. Now it's time for my favorite part, shoving stuff down her gullet. 3 3/4 figures like Batman fit with no problems at all. So you can expect, G.I. Joe and the like to fit down there with no real issues. Some larger figures like Mario can fit down there as well. And if you really wanted to, even 6-inch figures will fit down there. I may or may not do some customizing on this. I haven't decided yet. If you'd like me to do that or make a video out of it, comment below and let me know, and I'll make sure to do that. Otherwise, I love her just the way she is. I love toys that are toys for toys' sake. How many times can I say toys in one sentence? I don't know. But she doesn't have any electronics, so no batteries, no battery compartments to corrode or go bad. She doesn't make stupid amounts of noise for no reason. Her whole job is to eat figures, and she does it beautifully. And to me, it brings me back to being a kid playing with the bull T-Rex. I still love it. I still love the Super Colossal T-Rex. And I often don't talk about them as being toys, if that makes sense. Like, I don't often approach it as, is this a good toy? So much as, is this a good, collector's item, or, well, look it on a shelf or whatever. But I think this is a great toy. Kids will love it. I love it. I'm sure you'd like it too. If you like, big dinosaurs and Jurassic Park and all that. Maybe if you're not a fan of Jurassic World, you might not want this one. Yeah, I happen to like that movie quite a bit, so I think it's a great toy. Lots of play value packed into it, at least in my inner kid's mind. But anyway, let me know down below what Jurassic Park movie is your favorite, or any kind of Jurassic Park memory you may have, seeing it in theaters, or, getting the Red Rex for Christmas, or what have you. I always like hearing those stories. But if you like the review, then please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you would. And until next time, I'm Salty, signing off.